My sister poured our dying mother's heart medication down the drain, then demanded I sign a contract admitting I owed her for existing. When I begged her to stop, she smiled and said, "Sign it, or start planning a funeral you can't afford." I just stared at her. That was 6 months ago. Yesterday, she saw something on her phone, went completely still, and hasn't eaten since. When did your greedy sibling go way too far? My sister kept a running total of every dollar our parents spent on me and demanded they match it penny for penny because she said love could be measured in receipts, and I was stealing her inheritance one birthday gift at a time. Polly was 5 years older than me and had always been obsessed with money. After I arrived, she became convinced that every dollar spent on me was stolen directly from her future. She kept a notebook called The Theft Log, where she recorded every diaper, every bottle, every toy with prices and running totals. She'd sneak into my nursery and whisper, "You're expensive," while calculating how much my formula cost. On my 10th birthday, Polly gave me a gift in front of our whole family. It was a printed invoice for everything our parents had spent on me since birth. $73,847.23. "This is what you owe me," she announced. She explained her new system where every expense had to be matched. If mom bought me school supplies worth $50, Polly got $50 cash. If dad paid for my dentist appointment, she got the equivalent in her savings account. She'd already made spreadsheets with 10 years of backdated calculations our parents now owed her. Never mind that they'd been spending money on her that whole time too. Conveniently, that money didn't count. Our parents nervously tried to reason with her, but Polly had prepared for this. She'd researched inheritance law and threatened to sue them for financial favoritism. To avoid her meltdowns, they started giving in. Every purchase for me meant writing Polly a check. She wore a calculator on a chain around her neck, constantly tallying. Every normal childhood experience became a transaction. They started skipping things I needed just to avoid doubling the cost. When I needed braces, they said no because they couldn't afford 2 sets worth, even though Polly didn't need them. My teeth stayed crooked. I learned to refuse gifts, skip meals, wear old clothes just to avoid triggering her calculator. When I got into college, Polly lost her mind. The tuition was more than our parents could possibly match in cash. She demanded they either give her the equivalent immediately or refuse to pay for my education, since she had no interest in college. When they took out loans for me, she insisted on equal loans for herself, which she immediately cashed out. She said I was stealing her future with every semester. I worked 3 jobs to minimize what my parents paid, but Polly still calculated room, board, textbooks, even my toothpaste into what they owed her. Things got worse when mom got sick. She needed expensive treatments that insurance only partially covered. I dropped out of school to help with costs and care, but Polly saw this differently. Every medical bill was money stolen from her inheritance. She demanded half of all treatment costs be deposited into her account, or she'd sue for elder abuse through financial manipulation. She actually filed papers claiming I was forcing our parents to spend their savings on unnecessary care to drain Polly's future inheritance. I'll never forget the day mom needed emergency surgery. While dad and I sat terrified in the waiting room, Polly arrived with her calculator and laptop. She'd researched the procedure costs and wanted a bank transfer before mom went under. $43,000 for the surgery, she announced. "I'll take a payment plan, but I want post-dated checks today." When I told her mom might die, she said that would actually be cheaper and started calculating funeral costs versus extended care. Mom survived, but came home needing round-the-clock care we couldn't afford. I moved back to help, but Polly presented us with an invoice for my free rent that she demanded in cash. She'd appear with receipts for my shower water, my portion of heat, my percentage of Wi-Fi usage. One day I found mom crying over bills. She needed medication we couldn't afford because we'd been paying Polly matching costs for every medical expense. I told Polly she was killing mom with her greed. She laughed and showed me her master spreadsheet. Everything our parents had spent on me versus her since birth. According to her calculations, they still owed her $247,892.41. "I'm just taking what's mine."